Hi, it's Kathy Andronikou and welcome to this IZINK Ice and Pigment Mixed Media tutorial. So as we begin, I just want you to know I'm experimenting, so some things will work, some things won't. So I'm going to start with the IZINK Pigment Stratosphere and I'm going to mix that with a little bit of water using the IZINK sprayer bottle. I'm going to go in a side-to-side motion, keeping in the same direction, and I'm going to start off darker and then gradually work down lighter as I go along. I then use the IZINK dye spray Mer de Sud by Seth Apter and use that with a cloud stencil by Inkalicious, but I'm not really happy with the results I've got from that. So I decided to go over the spray whilst it was still wet with a paintbrush and a drop of water, and just again working from side to side to just work that in, and then went over, because I felt it was a bit too dark, with a bit of kitchen towel to take some of the ink off. I wanted to put some lighter sort of cloud elements into that area, so I've actually taken some of the IZINK Pigment White, and unfortunately mine was empty, so I've added a bit of water to the bottle and given it a shake, so it's a bit weaker than you would get it if you bought it normally. And then I've also added a little bit more of that Stratosphere just to get a lighter blue in there. And I'm just going to put those two on, and I've used a piece of kitchen towel and just dabbed them onto the area. For the bottom of my card, I'm going to use the IZINK dye Vervine. Now I'm going to put some of this on using a blending brush to get a lighter shade at the top, and then I'm just going to apply the ink directly to the paper using the ink pad for the bottom to get a darker shade, and then just blend the two together. We're now going to start building some texture into the picture, so I'm going to be using the new IZINK Ice Vert Month colour, and I'm just going to apply that onto my card using the palette knife, and I'm going to use different types of strokes and scratches to build different textures, and just trying different techniques to see how I can literally just get more and more depth into my picture. Using Pink Ink's Flamingo stamp, I'm going to stamp using Mer de Sud an outline of the flamingo body as a guide for where I want to lay my paint. Drip IZINK Pigment Saffron colour onto the flamingo, and then spritz with water. Use a palette knife to move the ink around and add more texture by scratching. Once dry, use the IZINK Pigment Rose colour and drip more colour in and add more scratching using the palette knife to create the shape of the flamingo. Use the IZINK Ice Rose colour to add more depth and texture to the flamingo. Again, use the palette knife to move the paste around. I wanted to add more depth to the grass, so I've taken the IZINK Pigment Bamboo and have again applied that using my palette knife. I then wanted a darker shade, so I mixed some of the bamboo with the Iris IZINK pigment and then made a darker shade of grass, and again applied that with my palette knife. Mix some of the IZINK Pigment White with water and then splatter over the image. Remove from any areas where you don't want splatters. Repeat this process using the Saffron and Rose IZINK pigments. Add further depth to the flamingo using the IZINK Ice Rose colour. Stamp the legs from the flamingo. I'm using Stays On Jet Black. Colour in the legs using the IZINK Pigment Saffron ink. Using archival black ink, stamp the beak of the flamingo. Stamp the body of the flamingo using Stays On Bordeaux. IZINK Rose pigment was then used to fill in some of the areas that hadn't been coloured in the flamingo image. Using the Chameleon Deep Black alcohol marker, add depth to the beak and also to around the eye area, just filling in a few more details. The picture's now finished, so thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Bye!